We're ready.
Sam, you ready? I am ready. Okay. Full reading of the Greenwood Fire Merit Commission to order at 4 o'clock on June 21st, 2023. First order of business is approval of the minutes from February 23rd, 2023 meeting. Do we have a motion to approve as presented or a motion to amend?
I'll make a motion to accept
As presented.
as presented.
Motion by Don Fapp. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mike Tapp. Further discussion on the motion to approve the minutes? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion to approve the minutes passes. Old business from the fire chief. Any old business from Chief Coy?
Don't believe so.
Any old business from commission members? Nope. Any old business from legal counsel?
No.
Old business from the audience? I know there is no audience, but I thought I should ask. Under new business, Chief Coy, full-time firefighter EMT process.
Yeah, thanks, sir. So the first order of business is we have exhausted our current eligibility hiring list. We have one individual next week that I've given a conditional offer of employment to. He's scheduled to go through his perf physical next week. If he, well, regardless of if he passes his physical or not, and we bring him on, it has exhausted our hiring list. So we are in the need of doing another hiring process to make an eligibility list. Excuse me, Chief Burgess, Training Chief Burgess has been working on that up and providing dates that we'd like to post this and move forward with the commission's permission to do so. Be happy to answer any questions.
Is there a motion from the commission members to approve moving forward with the firefighter EMT hiring process list?
Sure, I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mike Tapp to authorize moving forward with a hiring process. Is there a second? Second by Cindy. Further discussion on the motion to approve the chief and his staff to move forward with a hiring process? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries 5-0.
Want me to move on?
Yeah, next chief, sorry
Yeah,
about that.
no problem. I was waiting for you guys to make sure. I know, Steve, you asked last Merit Commission about the captains and lieutenants process. Both of those are scheduled to expire in November of this year. I foresee us making some moves on that within the next 60 days with the appointment of the new fire chief, which I can speak to in a minute. But we are going to be replacing a training chief. As I mentioned, Chief Burgess is actually retiring tomorrow. And then we still have an open battalion chief position that hasn't been filled as of yet. So I anticipate some of those things moving forward. My question to the commission is, would you prefer to give me permission now to move forward with those processes as they become available? Or would you like for me to come back to this commission later in the fall when they potentially expire?
The current list expired in November.
Current list expired.
Current list expire in November of 2023.
Feelings of the commission?
How many more people, I guess, are on the, with the list expiring, how many more people, I guess, are on the list, or do you feel you're in a good spot between now and November with the people that are, you know, retiring, or the appointments that you're about to make, and what the list would look like here in the next?
Yeah, there has to be, for both battalion chief and division chief of training, there are requirements that are probably going to rely on a higher ranking current member to fill those positions. I think we currently have one eligible candidate on the captain's list. I believe we have 3 or 4 eligible candidates on the lieutenant's list.
3, I think.
3. So there's a potential within the next 60 days that those will be exhausted, at least one of them.
Just from a discussion standpoint, not making a motion or anything, is the desire, one desire of the commission might be to authorize them to move forward with start the planning process and putting it all together, but keeping the lists in place until they expire, so it doesn't unduly harm the people that have already earned the positions on that list. If that makes sense.
That would be preference without a doubt. If I would prefer to promote off the current list that we currently have, and then if it expires, permission to move forward with a new eligibility list, and then permission to go ahead and promote off those lists as we have those positions.
Yeah, that's the way I think it makes the most sense to me.
I agree. I'll make a motion.
Conditioned on keeping the list all the way through the expiration of that current list and then having the administrative staff work on a replacement list
Yes.
now through the end of November or now through the expiration of the list.
I second that motion.
A motion by Don Faust, second by Matt Holmes. Any further discussion on the motion?
And Steve, I'd be more than glad to provide any of the commission members those processes, that we have those in place, just like we do the firefighter hiring process, points and percentages and things like that, if anybody would like to see those before we move forward at any time.
It just, from my perspective, before we vote, I mean, I think I'm very comfortable with the current process in place. And would just ask that if you anticipate through a new fire chief or as some of those changes occur, that if they wish to change the process, they would come back to us and ask for those changes to be ratified.
Absolutely. Yes.
The list or the process is in the rules and procedures for both of those processes.
So the point is the process is actually in your rules of procedure.
Okay. Motion and a second on the floor. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Next item, Chief, discussion of merit rules of procedure.
Yeah, final point, Governor Holcomb signed Senate Bill 185 into law in May. It actually takes effect, I believe, in 2 weeks in July. But what it has done is raise the maximum age to enter into the 1977 Police and Fire Fund to before 36. That number is now before 40. So you can't be 40 in order to enter into the pension fund. So that is now a state law. I approached the Common Council Monday night. We're actually changing the merit system ordinance to reflect those age changes. I would like to ask the commission that we change those age range in all the wording and rules of procedure, as well as the hiring process as well.
I might ask Chief and Council, is that something we will do blanket approval on now and then you change that and then present us with just a new set of rules of procedure?
We're only anticipating that single change.
That's correct.
Go ahead. If you're comfortable, just approve the change now.
And then we'll provide the commission with just new.
And then part of that
procedures with
approval
that.
is to codify it back into our rules of procedure.
Correct.
Be like an addendum to what we have already.
Further discussion prior,
Does this mean that we don't hire any firefighters over the age of 40?
Currently, as we stand right now, the policies within our guidelines say that you have to meet the intent of 1977 perf, which is 21 to 36. So yes, if you were 39 and 6 months, we can still hire you. If you meet all the recommendations. If your 40th birthday hits before I offer you a job, you won't be able to.
date of appointment, I think, is
Yes,
what
that is
they
correct.
say in the statutes.
Yeah. Which is very interesting as a side note, but if you're 39 and 11 months, you have to put 20 years in to
Right.
be vested. That's a
I was perfectly fine at retiring at 52.
But does that apply? Well, this is our new chief, 45 years old.
Doesn't apply to laterals.
one more time, Mike.
Never mind.
Yeah.
It doesn't apply to lateral moves.
Yeah, and I can speak to that I can speak to Chief Washell on once we complete this, I can give you a little bit of perspective on that.
Okay, thank you.
I think it's good, though, just to clarify, just in a general statement, that it wouldn't apply to anyone what we're calling a lateral transfer, what we just described as a lateral transfer. That's somebody that's already in the 77 fund with a different fire department or police department, but as long as they're in the 77 fund as a current member, they can laterally transfer to another police or fire department above the current minimum age, which used to be 36, now it's 40.
That's correct.
And the intent, I think, in the legislature was that it opens up a little bit broader pool of candidates because now we have the years 37, 38, 39, up to 40 that can now apply for their first entry into the pension fund. So. Is there a motion on to change our rules of procedure to accept the new state statute?
Yes, I motion to accept the new state statute.
A motion by Matt Holmes to allow the chief and legal counsel to modify our rules of procedure. Is there a second?
Second, I'll second.
Second by Cindy Reinhardt. Further discussion from the membership? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries unanimous. Chief, anything else?
Yeah, I'd just like to inform the commission that Mayor Myers has appointed a fire chief, Jamie Washell. He'll be taking he'll be starting with us in August. To give you a little background, Jamie's currently the deputy chief with the Bloomington Fire Department. I've known Jamie a few years professionally, 20 plus years of service on at Bloomington. He is a native Greenwood resident, graduated from Greenwood High School. Got a football scholarship to play at Purdue, played 4 years of football at Purdue. Did some movement around the country, playing different levels of football, but actually came back to Bloomington, joined the fire department. He's been down there for 20 plus years. Very well respected. To your point, he actually is retiring from the Bloomington Fire Department and then will be hired by the city of Greenwood as a civilian. So he will not be a merit firefighter.
Okay.
Entering our system. So I would love for either us to come back and meet Chief Washell or any of you at your own leisure if you would like to stop in and meet Chief. I'd appreciate you guys to do that.
You said starting officially August 1st or?
To give some background, again, another perf rule that I'm becoming familiar with, but if you leave 1977 perf and you enter into civilian perf, there's a rule that you have to have a 30-day break. And so from the date that he retires from Bloomington Fire Department, he has to wait 30 days before he can join the city of Greenwood under a civilian pension. Learning all kinds of things.
We all learn things along the way.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's all I have. Just want to give you an update. Thanks to the commission for your help. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Chief. Any other new business from commission members? New business from council?
None.
New business from recording secretary? I'll ask the audience again. There's no audience. The only other thing I had was Chief Coy had alluded to it, and everyone here is invited. Chief Burgess's retirement luncheon is tomorrow at Station 91 at noon.
Correct.
So I think Jim has how many years?
In total, I would say 33. That would be the part-time system and career system. Jim started his full-time career at Fisher's Fire Department and then transferred to Greenwood. So he was my captain when Steve hired me. So it's been a long time.
Yeah, I think Jim started 2 years after I did, maybe late 80s, sometime like that. Sounds about right.
Yeah, it is.
Any other, we've already asked about new business. Kim, do we need a next meeting? Is there any reason for a next meeting yet on the
I don't
schedule?
see any reason until we get the process done and then we can schedule it that time.
I mean, we'll be looking targeted sometime, like looking at this timeline of the hiring process, like early
We're looking at-
September would potentially be.
Yeah,
When
last
you might
week of
have a-
August or first week of September, probably.
Okay, so no need to schedule a meeting today, unless there's anything else. We'll accept a motion for adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
For a second.
Second.
Motion by Don Faust, second by Matt Holmes to adjourn. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. And adjourn at 4:14.
Wonderful job, Mr.